Hi, my name is Lauren Kearns. This is my presentation for chemistry. Today we're going to be doing an experiment with balloons and salt and pepper and seeing if we can get the balloon to attract the pepper. So the theory that we're using here to try and make this experiment happen and work positively is we're going to try and negatively charge the balloon. So there's a couple ways that you can charge an item beyond what it already is charged. So you can go friction, conduction, or induction. So for this experiment, we're going to be using friction. I'm going to be rubbing the balloon against my hair and then seeing if we can pick up some of the pepper on here. So both pepper and salt are pretty neutral, but the pepper is lighter, so it should pick up the pepper. That is the goal of the experiment. So let's give it a go, see what happens. So we're gonna oh yeah. Oh, okay. I don't know if you can see that, but it did work. We also did get some salt on there. So it's picking up even more still, which is kind of exciting. That's really cool. And my hair got all staticky. So what just happened here was the balloon picked up static electricity. In this case, free electrons that negatively charged the balloon. So when you have something that's negative and you're pointing it towards something that is neutral or positive, it's going to attract. One of the ways that you can kind of think of it is back to the cathode rays that helped with the discovery of electrons. So in the experiment, what happened was there were two pieces of metal in a glass tube, completely sealed, and ray was put through it. And that was the surprising part was, oh, there is a ray that you can see go there. But what they did following was they started doing different charges. So they had a positive here and a negative here with the tube in the middle. And they found that the ray tilted upwards towards the positive charge, indicating that, it was kind of acting as a magnet. So to further test that experiment, they then put a magnet and wrapped it around the tube, and it reacted as they thought it would, with the ray then bending downwards. So the cathode ray experiment was done very well. It told us a lot about electrons at the time, and even this experiment here tells us a lot about electrons. Like I said before, it picks up free electrons, basically meaning that free electrons from here, and like I said, there's just a couple ways to transfer those sorts of charges. It picked that up. So the balloon was originally negatively charged. If we took the balloon at the beginning of this experiment and just tried to press it into the salt and pepper, nothing would have happened. But because it picked up free electrons and got negatively charged, we now have a balloon with a lot of salt and a fair amount of pepper attached to it. This is helpful information to know because even though something may be neutrally charged, if something causes it to pick up more electrons or a different charge, it changes completely. So it's still stuck on there. That's really cool. But as I'm sure people know, so you can see it's still acting. I'm trying to brush it off and it's still acting as a magnet. As people, I'm sure, are very aware, once you get static in your hair, it's really hard to get it out. So the balloon would need to have something happen to lose the free electrons that it picked up. But it does make sense why the pepper was picked up. The majority of the pepper is off of the plate, and it did pick up a fair amount of salt. Salt is also a neutral, it's ionic, meaning it's positive and neutral. So it does make sense why the salt was picked up as well. It was a little unexpected because I expected the pepper to be the only thing that lifted up, but the charge on here must have been strong enough to lift up the heavier body, which is the salt. So that is a really cool experiment. It says a lot about electrons, and I hope you enjoy. Learned a lot.